place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, stays not safe. Before you cross me, look both ways. Leaving the scene with no trace. None in my league, you out of place. I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going, state to state.
What's going on, guys? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay, and I'm back with the one and only man you see, obviously, to the screen just beside me. He is the future of wrestling, period. He is one of my favorite people. I've called a ton of his matches. This dude has put the work in over the last year, and he is in the best shape of his young career thus far. He's only going to get better, and now he's got a big fight feel coming up in literally a couple of weeks. We're dropping this out maybe about a week before the show, but December 2nd, Friday, St. Catharines, Brock University. This man goes one-on-one with the Impact Heavyweight Champion, Josh Alexander. Let me welcome back to Straight Talk Wrestling for round number 2. Oh, Jonny Deluca. Oh, Jonny Deluca. That's such a catchy time, man. What's up, brother? How are you?
How are you, man? Good to be back. Good to be back. I appreciate the chant singing. I can hear it right now. Can you hear them?
I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it. And Brock University is going to be full Jonny Deluca mode come December 2nd. So let's talk right now. I know that the show is selling out very well. It's called Intuition, I believe. Yeah. So you are in the main event. You're going one-on-one, non-title fight, but you're going one-on-one with Josh Alexander. And this one is a huge test for you thus far. You've had an amazing 2022. You've had some great rivalries with the likes of Isaiah Bronson, which I'm sure is not finished by a long shot. There's unfinished business there for sure. But there was, unfortunately losing the television title. But in losing that television title, something happened. Jonny Deluca flipped a switch. He went to the next gear, and the next gear is the Jonny Deluca that I'm looking at now. If I'm not mistaken, and this is a kudos to you, you put the work in, and I believe you're down 45 pounds?
Yeah, I think around there. I think at my heaviest, I was around maybe 240, 245, and now I weigh about just under 200. So yeah, I would say that.
That's fantastic. You're gonna need all that you're gonna need that speed and that agility for Josh Alexander. That's for sure. So talk to me about when HWE management, being the voice of reason, Ray Bernardo governance. We know my history with them. We're gonna leave them off the table. But when they called you and they said,
for sure,
get ready, kid, like literally, here's the ball. We're putting you in the ring with the best of the best. And what was your reaction when you found out you were going to go one-on-one with the walking weapon, Josh Alexander?
You froze that over.
There we go. We're good.
Well, my reaction consisted of 2 words. And I mentioned those 2 words once in the promo video that was released, and I'll say them again. Oh, shit. Yeah. Obviously very, very nerve-wracking. Like, it's very nerve-wracking, but, at the same time, just like thinking of all the possibilities and thinking, just trying to envision what the match would look like inside my head. It gives me something to anticipate. You know what I mean? It gives me something to really like, I've been working hard anyway, right? Trying to be consistent, but that, like, something like that gives you a whole new set of like motivation, right? So that's immediately what I thought. Like, I have to stay on track now. There's keep going. I have to keep pushing. I can't implement it. And now I have no choice. Needless to say, I am both excited yet nervous, but overall excited. I think now I'm more excited.
Absolutely. No, 100%. You're more excited. It's literally, when this drops, it'll be days away. This will drop on probably the Wednesday right before the show, or maybe a week before. Excuse me. So the time for talking will inevitably be over. And that was one hell of a promo. It was a great promo. Let's pause right now for you guys to take a look at the Jonny Deluca promo on announcing his match with the Walking Weapon. Check it out right now.
I'm in the best shape of my life right now. Brock University is my home turf. If I have to prove myself against any opponent on my home turf, that's what I gotta do. You know, it's always been a dream of mine to wrestle at my own school, in front of my friends, in front of my people. And Friday, December 2nd, I get to capitalize on that dream. I get to make it a reality. It doesn't matter who HWE has in store for me, because I'll be damned if I let anybody come try and steal this moment away from me. This is my moment. This is my time to shine. This is where I capitalize on my potential. Brock University, Isaac's Bar and Grill, my home, my turf. Oh, shit.
I mean, fuck those words. You can't the realness, the way that was shot, it was absolutely superb. And the story that was told was phenomenal. And it's hands down probably one of my favorite promos I've seen this year in all of wrestling. And that's saying something. And that's not kissing your ass, dude. That's just a fantastic promo. You spoke from the heart. You spoke eloquently. And I got pins and needles. Like, I got pins and needles straight up when I first watched that, and even watching it again. It was fantastic. So, you know, it was amazing. It was amazing to see the words that you used. But talk to me about that promo, I guess, when you were working through it and how you were envisioning how it was going to be shot. Did you envision it to be the way it came out? Because I think it came out incredible.
My thought process behind it was, I wanted majority of the video to just be sort of me on campus, me at Brock. I think those 2 points it's very interesting, and it's very sort of, and even like from the beginning, right? Like, I love the fact that, like, when you watch the video, you don't really know what it is just yet, sort of thing. It looks like somewhat of like a motivational whatever, me talking myself up, going, oh yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life, whatever, right? And just and that goes on for about maybe 30 or 40 seconds. And then, you know, when it hits and I get that text, you know what I mean? And even before, it's like, well, I'm ready for any challenge you throw at me, because I'm confident in my abilities. I've done this, I've done that. I'm ready. And then I get that text, and it's that moment of shock and realization. And then that's where it ends. And that's perfect for me, because then it sort of not contradicts the whole video of what you've just seen for the last 40 seconds, but it flips it. It keeps things interesting. And I'm really happy with the way it came out. But yeah, that initial shock, because, you know, that's relatable. A lot of people would relate in that situation, and that's genuinely how I felt anyway. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So how do you prepare for the walking weapon? I mean, this is a man whose entire body is a weapon. To get the nickname the walking weapon, it's no fucking joke. Josh Alexander is if like Jason Bourne and Michael Myers had a one-night stand, then popped out a baby. And I don't mean Michael Myers is in the psycho aspect. I mean, Michael Myers is in the fact that this dude can't die. You can't put him down. I've never seen Josh Alexander stay down for 3. And when he has, it's been literally to the point of near death. And that's the truth of the matter. Or if he loses, he's usually in a fatal 4-way and he doesn't get pinned. So that's where things kind of come down to it. But how do you prepare for, again, arguably one of the best pro wrestlers in the world today?
That's a tough question to answer. I don't know if you can ever be prepared. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, there's things that I can do along the way. There's things that I can do that I can make sure of. I can make sure that I'm in good shape. I can make sure that my cardio is the best that it possibly can be. I can make sure that I'm kind of fixing the holes in my game when it comes to things like chain wrestling, things like footwork, like that stuff will really be important, I feel. And this is like again, for me, in the way I'm viewing it, it's a test. I am being tested, so all I can do is just kind of review my strengths and try and fix some of the weaknesses that I have, but also just sort of, like I said before, reassuring to myself that this isn't crazy. You know what I mean? I'm ready for something like this. I've been tested before by some other guys around the indie scene. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm qualified now to have a challenge like this. So just reminding myself of that and just keeping up here clear and stable and positive will be probably one of the, because it's a mental hurdle, right?
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
as much as you think it's a physical hurdle, I think the mental is it's the same thing, the same way. So I got to make sure that I'm prepared up here. And I think I am. As of now, right now, I think I'm in a really good spot.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree with you, just based on the fact of how I've seen and you've always been a professional, polite, well cared young man. That's because great parenting, and I've had the pleasure of meeting your pops, and he's a fantastic human being as well. He's amazing. He's actually my favorite member of the DeLuca family. I love him. I love him a lot. I think he's a good dude.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, I do. I think I've only met him like once or twice, and I think he's a great guy. And it's not a shot at you, Johnny. I just think he's a great
that's
guy.
a
Yeah,
popular consensus. Yeah.
yeah,
I
your
get it.
yeah, your dad is
okay.
fucking cool. Listen, you got cool parents, man. A lot of people don't have the luxury of having cool parents, and you do. You got cool parents.
100. Yeah,
See?
I
There you
do.
go.
I do indeed have very cool parents. I got a cool support system as well. Great family, great friends. I'm very
Exactly.
thankful.
And I was going to talk about that because I know that all the pre-sales for the Brock University show, I believe 60% of them are Jonny Deluca's friends and family. So that means this crowd is already stacked very one-sided against a walking weapon. Everybody loves Josh, but it's a Jonny Deluca crowd on December 2nd.
I can tell you right now, I don't have an exact number of pre-sales or like of how many tickets are spoken for or reserved. I believe the venue capacity is 400. I can tell you right now, I think half of that 400 is spoken for already.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is, again, couldn't be happier with that. That's very, you know what I mean? Like that's pretty good to have right now, and it's a pretty good position to be in. And you know what I mean? Just for the experience, because I am living close to the campus, right? And it is happening on Brock campus. I was tasked with some of the duties of, putting posters up, trying to advertise it, trying to, you know what I mean? Like get the venue all sorted out. And I tell you, because I'm in sport management, like that's the program I'm taking right now. And I think it's great experience for things that I might potentially want to like head down like in the future, like putting on events and stuff like that. But I'll tell you, that's a lot of hard work. I don't I don't envy the job of a promoter or a booker. I think it's a lot more stressful than people realize. But in the end, I think the reason they do it is because of the finished product, right? And as much as I do have a lot on my plate right now in terms of, you know what I mean, trying to figure out everything for the venue, make sure everything's okay, make sure that posters can be put up accordingly, make sure that people get word of this event, right? While also balancing school and keeping up in shape and things like that, right? As much as I do have a lot on my plate, I keep thinking about that day and just how hopefully you know what I mean, it'll all pay off. It's that moment of relief, like, oh, it's all done now, but and look at this, look at the result. And hopefully the result is 400 screaming, crazy, possibly intoxicated lunatics.
I want to say the a wrestling show at a college campus Yes, good chance intoxication will be on the menu.
100%. The bar is open at this event, Isaac's Bar and Grill. Yeah, please come for, you know what I mean, with the intention of having a great time, because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a party.
Absolutely. It's 150% going to be a party. And so I got to ask this question because I don't think anybody's really had a chance to ask this question in some of the interviews and conversations that you've done. It's 30 seconds to your intro. You're standing in front of the curtain. You're kind of saying your last little, you know, things to yourself. You're mentally checking yourself. Your music hits and you walk out in this crowd and it's going to be packed. I have full belief that it will pack, and I know it will. It'll be a huge success. And you're walking to the ring and you know what's coming behind you. And you're trying to soak this in, but at the same time, you got to stay focused. What's kind of going through your heads? What gears are you locking into to make sure you get a chance to soak it in, but understand that you know what you have coming?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. It's something that, like, and you know what I mean? Like, obviously I've been envisioning, you know what I mean, what my entrance will look like, how I'm gonna, you know what I mean? I'm thinking about all that little stuff right now, you know what I mean? But that sort of thing is like, I can't really explain. I think I can't explain it because that's sort of like the challenge, the mental hurdle, in my opinion, when it comes to like being a pro wrestler and doing all that stuff, is balancing. Okay, I know what I got to do in here. I know what I gotta, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna get tired. I don't want to get blown up too quickly. I know I gotta, you know what I mean, save time. I gotta be present for certain moments, for, you know what I mean? I gotta be present enough. But I gotta do that. And I think the crowd is a factor in that, right? And that's where it's like, that's what makes things interesting. It's like like a crossroads sort of thing, like where it's like, okay, well, picture the match with no crowd, right? Which was very much a thing, right? Not long ago. You know, you go out there and you do whatever it is that you do, and then you leave, but the crowd doesn't influence anything because there's no crowd, right? And now you're thinking, well, you're in a room with 400 screaming people. Now you don't know what's going to happen. So now you have to rely on instinct. You have to feel moments out. You can't pre-plan this. You can't fabricate this. You can't intentionally think this is what I'm going to do beforehand. And that's the beauty of it, because it makes it real. The crowd makes it real. The crowd makes the match an event. You know, without the show, it's just a match. But a match in front of a whole bunch of people, now it's an event. The crowd makes it live, right? So I think I embrace that, and I try and use that in everything that I do. I make sure that my number one priority is playing off to where I am, what my audience is behaving like, and what they want, right? So again, that's not something I could answer right now, but that's something I'll try and come up with when it happens.
Fair enough. So we'll have to reconvene maybe a couple months after. We'll talk about the fallout from this this event that's going to happen. And like you said, it's going to be an event. Now, this is an interesting question. I think you might like this question. I was thinking about this question at work today. I was like, I got to ask him that. I got to see what his vibe is with this. If little Jonny Deluca 10 years ago, who was a huge fan of everything indie wrestling, has pictures with, we talked about it the last conversation, has a picture with Harry D as a fan, and then Harry D's reffing his matches. If little Jonny Deluca could see Jonny Deluca now, would he be proud of how far you've come?
I don't think, like, again, like when I was a kid, right, I would always say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a wrestler. I'm gonna be a wrestler eventually. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. I'll be a wrestler. but I would never actually know like the process, like how it's gonna happen or how I'm gonna do it, right? Because at the time, well, this may or may not be right or wrong or whatever, but at the time, like we didn't know of any schools like when I was like really, really little, right? So there was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a wrestler, but I don't know how it's gonna come about. Um, I think I don't think I'd be able to like fathom it because I was aware of indie wrestling when I was really really little and stuff like that. I don't think I understood how interconnected everything was in the sense of like community. So you know what I mean. I would go to like these different shows, but I wouldn't associate them as like the same thing. They're like completely different. My first set of like indie shows, like when I would go watch, like I used to go to like battle arts and watch like the Rising Stars and stuff like that. And I think I caught like a couple Destinies, and the Battle Arts Pro and all that, right? Um, and then you know what? And then my second set of indie shows, like then I would go to like somewhere like Alpha One, right? Where it's like they're both so, you know what I mean? Obviously amazing, right? But they're amazing in different ways, right? Like they're different environments, right? So I don't know. I didn't think to myself like, oh, like I'm literally watching this in Hamilton right now. Like if I were to start wrestling, like these guys are all around here. You know what I mean? Like this is where these guys are wrestling. This is where these guys are training and stuff like that. So a lot of that didn't click with me, right? So then when I started wrestling, and then I started like I got on like the Facebook or whatever, like the Ontario Indie, and just seeing like all these names, like, oh my God, I remember watching that guy. You know what I mean? I remember that match. I was there. Then all of a sudden I'm in the ring with them. You know what I mean? So that to me is like probably the craziest part. So I don't think I would be able to envision it because I wouldn't know I didn't know it could go this far, I guess, right? But yeah, no, like that realization of like, holy shit, like I watched you wrestle like 10 years ago. It's just crazy to me. Guys like Kobe Durst, for example. I was sitting front row in an Alpha One show years ago. I went with one of my jiu-jitsu coaches at the time. He told me, he's like, oh yeah, we got to go to this show. They do crazy shit, right? Alpha One. And I can't remember like the match specifically, but all I remember is like Kobe died like right into the first row or something like that. And I was like, oh shit, right? And just seeing that now and like seeing him now, like I just laugh about that because it's like that's crazy. Like I watched you years ago, and now like I see you in locker rooms and stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that's the coolest part.
I couldn't agree with I couldn't disagree, sorry, with anything that you said. I think that's the case when you're able to watch these people and then connect with these people and the journey, it's full circle. There is one thing that's a scary factor, and that is doubt. Doubt can play a motherfucker on a lot of situations. This match is an ultimate test for you. Like you said, you've been tested. But do you feel that this match is a test to see if you're ready to kind of lead a locker room or ready for a world title run? Or do you think this match will test you in terms of if you can hang with the big boys? And I don't mean big as in big. I mean big as in brand name. Like
Top tier.
A little bit of both? Or is it one side or the other?
This is okay. So yes, this match is obviously my biggest test in my career. I think nobody can agree or nobody can disagree with that. I've been tested before by guys like Del Bruno, Hacker, Albright, Vertigo, Durst, Fuerza, you know what I mean, Justice Sane, like so many people. And I feel like I've been able to learn something. I feel like after wrestling with every single one of them, there's this thing called the light bulb moment, right? And the light bulb moment is basically a moment where I think to myself, I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't think of it like that. I didn't think of like what we just did beforehand, and now I'm going to use that and put it into my own way of thinking, so that the next time I go, I'm going to use the way you did it because I like the way you did it, or I like the way we did this, I like the way you thought of this, I'm going to implement that, right? So I am basically a result of the people that I've wrestled along the way. You know what I mean? And you learn from everybody, right? You learn, you know what I mean, from the bigger names, or from people who've been there for longer, have the longest tenure or whatever. But you learn from your peers, you learn from bad matches, learn from good matches. You can learn from all types of different people. And I feel as if I am a result of who I've wrestled. You know what I mean? Like in the sense of like overcoming the like any obstacles, or like adding what I thought went well to every match into the next one, right? So I'm a product of that. This is the biggest test of my career. I couldn't tell you if I was ready or not. Again, that's up here. I think this is a test for me. When I saw this match, I was like, I want to see how far I can go, like how far I can push myself. You know, I want to see what I'm truly made of. And there have been matches where they've been aggressive. My cardio needed to be, you know what I mean, my optimal, so that I could be in there for a long time. There's matches that I've been able to test myself. Obviously I don't think anything quite like this one. But again, like that's the big challenge. I think that's the intrigue of this whole match, is that this is my test. And you know what I mean? I get to see what I'm truly made of for me. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that answers your question, but I feel like if I am able to keep up in whatever capacity, that's you know what I mean, that's great reassurance for me. That's good up here. But again, I'm also looking for that light bulb moment, right? Because I've become addicted to that light bulb moment, right? Like this is a great learning experience, and not a lot of people get it, right? So I'm super thankful that I get this opportunity to learn from an experience like this, and hopefully it takes me from here to here. That's ideal, right? So I don't know if that answers your question, but
It did. It did. It definitely answered my question. It's like you said, that I like that. I'm gonna do what you did. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal the light bulb moment. I stole it from Holden Albright before. It was called the level up moment. But now I like the light bulb moment. No, I like the light bulb moment. It's like everything, it just clicks. It clicks and it's bam. Yeah. It just the switch gets flipped.
It clicked.
If the switch gets flipped. So when everything's said and done and the match is over and you get that moment with yourself in the back. You're sitting down on whatever bench, whatever bleacher, whatever thing's back there, and you're just looking around and you're like, holy fuck, man. You're looking down at your chest and it's going to be red because you know Josh Alexander's going to hit those chops. He's going to hit them, and it's good. There's going to be marks. There's going to be bruises, 100%. When you sit down, you soak it in, and you look at everything that just happened on December 2nd, and you have a chance to just have that brief moment for yourself. Is it going to be a moment of true adulation, like joy, or is it going to be a moment of, this was amazing, this was incredible, but now it's on to the next. This has elevated me. Now I have to elevate more, because I know you don't stop. This is not okay. This is it. I'm going at Josh Alexander. I'm going at Josh Alexander. It's going to be amazing, an incredible test. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm thankful for the opportunity. Once it's done, I'm going to be like, that was an incredible memory I'll have for the rest of my life. But now it's on to the next. Which peak will it be? Will it be just enjoying soaking in those moments, or will it just be, okay, on to the next?
I think it's got to be a little bit of both. I think when I think of this, it's like, this is my passion, right? This is what I love to do. and it's my passion because I'm able to enjoy it and I'm able to soak it in and have fun with it, right?
Mhm.
If I didn't like it, or it was too pressure filled or too nerve wracking or anything like that, I probably wouldn't do it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. I do this because I love it. I do it because I enjoy it. That's why I go with the mentality of trying to take things in, because these are great memories. And I think, you know what I mean? You can be so fixated on something, on a way that you want things to go, and how you want it to be laid out, and things like that. And you can have that mindset where it's like, on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. I'm just seeking success, right? But I think, you know, it's not a bad thing to enjoy the journey on the way up there. I that's why I think, like, yes, it's a feeling of, I'll get a feeling of relief once the show starts, right? Because then I'll be like, okay, you know what I mean? Everything's in order, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Now I can go have fun. But then at the same time, I'm like, still gonna get those nervous butterflies. Like, this is like, I have to make sure now it's up to me to perform. You know what I mean? It's up for me to hold up my end of the bargain, right? Because wrestling, it takes two to tango, right? And yes, he's Josh Alexander and could probably have a great match with a broomstick, but I owe it to him. I owe it to myself. I owe it to everybody coming to support me, to give my absolute best. So, like I said, that moment after the match is done, I think it's going to be a little bit of both. I'm gonna try my hardest to soak it in, but I'm taking this incredibly seriously, and that's kind of the mindset I'll go with.
Absolutely. Man, you're focused. I can't make you crack. I can't make you show the nerves. And I like that. I like the confidence.
Yeah.
And I know it. I know you're gonna kill it. I absolutely do know you're gonna kill it. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck for that night. I will be there in spirit. Fortunately, won't be able to make the show because it's a little bit of a drive for me right after work, especially on a Friday. That St. Catherine's drive is brutal on a Friday. Brutal. But let's talk about another cool thing that happened this year. You were security on Monday Night Raw, and if I remember correctly, you got to hold back Brock Lesnar. Was it
No,
Dexter
I was
Loomis?
in
It was Dexter Loomis, wasn't it?
so yeah, so it was a Dexter Loomis segment where there was a masked man holding back AJ, right? But it wasn't Dexter, it was like a fake out, right? That was actually Manjot from Battle Arts. And so yeah, the really fun experience, really cool. Obviously, I've never got to do anything like that. I've been like on ring crew for like Ring of Honor once, but like that experience was sort of like the first time I was ever like an extra, and just so cool. Every like so many wild experiences that I would, like, 5 years ago, I wouldn't even fathom. I wouldn't even like, it's beyond belief. Beyond belief. Feeling the energy of 15,000 people, you know what I mean, on a nationally televised event.
Mm-hmm.
Craziness. Crazy. It only makes me aspire to want to get there even more, you know?
Mm-hmm. I do. I listen, man. The spaceship is taking off, and it's going, and it's going, and it's going, and I see nothing but success in your future. And it's because you work hard, you're humble as fuck, you're a genuinely nice human being, and you have a great support system around you that keeps you grounded, but also picks you up when you need to pick up. And of course, you have your favorite podcast host of all time, always repping you, always repping. I've been a lunatic. I've been a lunatic for a very long time. Actually, since I got to call one of your first matches that I got to call, which was you versus Holden Albright in a fucking casket match. Insane. Oh, we froze again. And
See that like that match.
there we go. We're good. We're good.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing with the match with Josh. Like, it's always like we're always told to be aggressive, right? We're always told to lay stuff in, and you know what I mean? Sometimes you hit stuff, sometimes it doesn't feel as right. But when I'm given an opponent that I know is going to hit me hard, that I know is going to lay their stuff in, no matter what, and give me an absolute aggressive war, it only brings out that animal in me where it's like I have to match it. I have to try and match it. So that's another thing that's going to be very interesting, because obviously if you've seen Josh, you know how aggressive he is, you know how hard he hits, you know how slick his movements are, and trying to match that will be incredibly tough. It will be very interesting, but it will nonetheless be entertaining, which is why people should come on.
Absolutely.
Right?
Guys, get your tickets while you can. It's going to be the hottest ticket in town in St. Catharines. Brock University, open bar, crazy college kids going absolutely insane, and a whole lot of
Live DJ.
Live DJ. That's right. So it's going to be somebody spinning tunes on the ones and two. There's going to be great pro wrestling, and it ends off with Jonny Deluca versus Josh Alexander. Nothing could be better. And a great early Christmas gift for this young man, because he's fucking earned it. And he is, like I said, one of my absolute favorite people in the business. And I will big this kid up until the cows come home, because he's absolutely 150% worth it. So if you don't know who he is, check him out on all the socials. I believe it's Jonny Deluca _, or is it Johnny_Deluca? Always forget.
Man, I don't know. I put underscores in crazy places. I think if you type in Jonny Deluca in any social media, you'll be able to find me. But it's sometimes it's before, sometimes it's after, sometimes it's in the middle. I don't know. Just
put the underscore where you feel when you want to look for Jonny Deluca. Johnny D, and shit will come up and you'll see him, and it's worth it. Follow his journey, because his journey is absolutely special. Good luck on December 2nd, my man. And if I don't see you before then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And I look forward to telling more of your stories in 2023. And we are, there we go. We're back. Oh, no, we froze again. Oh. There we go. We're back. No.
We're good.
There we go. All right.
We're good.
I'll let you go, my man. Enjoy the rest of your evening. But thank you so much for coming on the show again. Peace, love, and wrestling, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode on all available podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. Also, check us out on YouTube at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And if you feel the need to buy some sweet merch, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Leaving the scene with no trace, not in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top, I'm outer space. Can't eat with us, we're out of place. I'm doing fine, I'm feeling great. You're not my fan, you can't relate. Straight talk going state to state.